And welcome in, everybody. Glad you're with us. We've got baseball on the show. It's the Baltimore Orioles going up against the Kansas City Royals. Joined by my partner, Chris Singleton, I'm John Shambi. And singing the big bat in the lineup so far this year, Hunter Dozier leads the team at OPS. So he's the guy that looks to slug and basically make things happen for them offensively.
Just a machine in terms of production at the plate. He'll take his walks. He'll barrel up the baseball. Hit the ball in the
As I understand it, 800 OPS, 750 to 800 is considered major league average.
That you want to stay away from if you're the pitcher.
All right, first pitch coming up. And on the hill in this one, Brady Singer. And Singy, it's unique these days, but he's more of a pitch-to-contact type of guy.
Yeah, Boogie, he doesn't rely too heavily on the strikeout. He knows he needs to miss barrels, get some soft contact, let the defense do work behind him. And I think a guy like that can keep a good tempo, don't give hitters time to adjust or think. They can move through a ball game, and you look up, they're in line for a quality start. We'll see what he's got in this one.
Next offering is down low. Swing and a miss as he was out front that time.
Come on.
Righty delivers. Bounced, and that got the pitcher. Gathers and throws to first. One up, one down. Catcher coming out to check on him. It looked like it got him on his back leg. So you'll wonder if that might be a problem for him in terms of pushing off the rubber.
Yeah, it's a great point, and we'll have to see how he looks. But to me, it appears he's moving pretty well. I think it's just going to sting for a while, but hopefully nothing more.
Here's Adley Rutschman. Next offering is down low. 1-0.
Big body call.
Popped up to the left into foul ground. Reaches for it, but it's foul. Rips that one to right. Rutschman retired. Out number 2. All right, let's take a look at the Orioles lineup now. A guy who's been huge for them over the last month plus, Ramon Urias.
Tops on the team in batting average, Boog. A guy who's showing off some excellent bat-to-ball ability when he digs in at the plate. You know, that's useful if your team needs to get an inning going, get a leadoff man on. But it's also incredible to have a guy like that in the lineup because he's a run producer who can drive in runs if you've got guys on base already. So he's a huge piece in this lineup.
Ryan Mountcastle in the box here. Lets that one go for a ball. Now 1-1.
Well, as a hitter, you're hoping that the command on that sinker doesn't come until later in the ball game. But if that's how it's going to be all day, it's going to be a tough one for the offense.
The other way, Massey whips it to first. Out number 3. Orioles held in check there. The Royals will get their chance.
That's my luck with hitting. Is
back after this on the show.
Ball off the pitcher goes right to the second baseman.
Back here at the ballpark, and our pitcher in this game, Grayson Rodriguez. Lots of punch outs, a real strikeout artist, Singy.
Well, he brings into this one an excellent strikeout to walk ratio on the season. And when you consider the amount of swings and misses that he gets and the fact that he's not issuing free passes, that's going to make him more economical in his pitch count, allow him to move into the middle and deeper part of ball games. So we'll see if that remains true in this one.
Bobby Witt Jr. at the plate now. That's ball 1. That hits the dirt. 2 balls, no strikes. And the righty deals. And that's downstairs and outside. And he walked him.
That just came apart right there. 4-pitch walk, and Guy at the plate was not going to help him out by swinging at something out of the zone.
Nate Eaton stands in now and watches strike one. Next pitch is popped up. Frazier makes the catch, and there's one down.
Batting third.
And here now, the lineup for the Royals. And a big factor for them in recent games, Vinny Pasquantino.
He's been a solid force for his team right now. Kind of a fire.
This one swung on and hit well. Way back there. On the warning track, and hauls it in.
That's just a really nice catch on the run right there. He saved extra bases for sure. If the pitcher's his friend, he'll give him a second to catch his breath before he's ready to deal the next pitch.
And now it's Salvador Perez to the plate. Salvi is a star in Kansas City. He debuted with the Royals as a 21-year-old. Helped them win a World Series in 2015. In fact, he did more than help. Runner on the go. Pitch in for a strike. Throw. Save. Chris, his wheels were the difference maker on that play. Just got in there.
Yeah, with StatCast's help, we see his top speed on this stolen base, and that's a big number. I mean, man, he really made his athleticism work for him on that one.
The 1-1. Foul ball. Witt at second with two down. Goes down looking.
Nice.
Nothing doing for the Royals in the first. After an inning from KC, no score on the show. Back here in Kansas City, new inning getting started. Anthony Santander at the plate.
Santander.
And here it comes. Ball one, no strikes. And another ball.
2-0 count, great hitter at the dish. If you're going to miss, you've got to miss outside the zone. You miss inside the strike zone, you'll be asking the umpire for a new baseball.
And it is 2-1. Is there a
Nice
little wrinkle
pitch
to that? I think there was.
Yeah. Little slider action.
Stops it on a slide. Throw to first. And very nicely done for the out.
Damn. I can't even be upset with that. That was a good play.
Gunnar Henderson, the next to hit for the Orioles. First pitch doesn't find the zone. Second inning here, no score. And he hits a ground ball right side. A flip to the pitcher covering. And a couple of quick outs.
Good slider inside right there. Batter fighting to get there. Just rolled over it. Got the ground ball.
Ramon Urias, the next to hit for the Orioles. Foul ball there. Next offering is in for a strike.
Two pretty nasty sliders to get this hitter in an 0-2 count. If you're up there at the plate, you got to look up in the zone and spit on anything that's down.
Next offering is downstairs. Ground ball left side. And that's the third out. Nothing doing this time around for the O's. We'll go to the bottom of the second. No score. And welcome back. And here is Edward Olivares. This is a guy you got to keep an eye on when he digs in. Definitely been known to drop a drag bunt from time to time. And he's pretty good at it, Chris.
Yeah, and he creates a sense of urgency for the defense because of the speed, because of the ability to put down that bunt.
And it's 1-1. Now you see even sluggers from time to time try and use the bunt really as a way to beat the shift. Gets him to chase after that one. The wind and the pitch. Way inside, gets out of the way.
Straighten him up a little bit.
Short hop liner, handled it short. The throw, and that's a great play for the
Beautiful play.
Batting sixth, the designated hitter, Rodney Reyes.
Now it's Franmil Reyes. First offering misses badly for ball one. And a foul ball.
The Franimal.
That one misses in the dirt. That's inside. One down, base is empty. Good plate appearance there. Able to take the walk.
Maybe a little loss of focus on the mound right there. Pretty much gifted him first base with a quick free pass.
Michael Massey stands in here. Takes ball one low.
Grayson probably feels like he's being squeezed a little bit.
Ball two.
No, he's really working him away this at bat. Sometimes take a little bit off velocity. Try to get a rollover, something on the ground. Stay away from that big hole on the right side of the infield.
Reyes stands at first with one out. Check swing, no appeal. 3-1 now. Next pitch is popped up. Mateo hauls it in, and there's two away. Drew Waters stands in.
The center fielder, Drew.
First offering misses the mark, and he gets back in. Next offering is in for a strike. And that one ripped to left. No trouble here. Puts it away for the out. And that'll do it. Royals lead one. We'll move to the third with no score.
Interesting start to the game.
Top half of the third inning. Here's the left fielder, Austin Hayes.
Austin Hayes.
Hayes, 27 years old, and he was a third-round pick back in 2016. Bounced out to short. Witt over to first. One up, one down.
Oh, nice job by the shortstop to field that on the backhand and gather himself, get his feet underneath him. He had a long throw, but he knew he had plenty of time to take that extra step, secure the grip, and finish the throw.
Adam Frazier in the box with one away as he takes ball one. Next pitch is outside. In the air out to center. He dives but can't hang on. That's a base hit.
Well, the last 10 games or so have been anything but fun at the plate for him, so that one has to feel good. Just a cookie down the middle. I mean, those are the ones you dream about. The ones in the cage, you're just hoping you get in the ball game. Right down the middle, not a whole lot of velocity, right on top of it.
Jorge Mateo in the box now. No balls and a strike. 3 hits last night, so he was a big factor in getting that win. Swings through that one.
Real ugly 0-1 swing right there. As a pitcher, got to be hunting for that strikeout. Keep him off balance. Send him back to the dugout.
And that one is lifted in the air. Makes a nice grab at a full sprint. 2 down. So next to hit for Baltimore, Cedric Mullins. Grounded out his first time. And a foul ball. Oh, 1 down. And that one fouled off. And a pitch. Line to left. And that one gets down. Fair ball. Lead runner touches second, headed for third. He's in there.
Well, he wasn't afraid to hit with 2 strikes. I think he choked up a little bit, maybe spread out. But
all right, all right. What's up, good sir? Busy, busy, busy. It's been some fun times. And I use the word fun loosely. I tell you what, but the show feels so much more realistic this year. Like, I actually feel like I'm playing baseball. Like, I feel like it's nice that I feel like I can't get a hit whenever I want. Like, I'm struggling more than I want. Like, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. Nice. How have you been? Oh.
This guy's got such a good sinker. As a hitter, you've got to look up in the zone. If you look down, you're going to be chasing stuff in the dirt.
Ouch. Sorry I haven't been around on your streams much. It's honestly not you. I haven't been getting on Twitch much. I hear you. If I wasn't streaming, I'll tell you something later. I'll text you something later. That actually has to do with. No. No. It has something. It has something to do. Let's just say it was very rewarding last week to finish up a project that I had been working on with the other job for over a year. No. Yes. Yes. I'll explain. I can't say much because of NDAs. Man, Grayson Rodriguez is so good in this game. I wish he was half this good in real life right now. Not that the Orioles aren't playing good. I'm happy with the way they've been playing. Well, I was gonna actually make that joke. Right now, the Orioles are the best birds in baseball. Look, you got Nolan Arenado for Austin Gomber. You can't complain. By the way, I gotta ask, and this is a little bit of a criticism of the Cardinals, but And I don't mean any disrespect. What in the world are they doing sending Jordan Walker down? My understanding is, though, and you certainly follow the Cardinals more than I do, is he's hitting 274 overall, but he was hitting like 220, 230 in the last 7 games or so. But he's a rookie. I mean, they're going to have ebbs and flows. I mean, there's this young kid that the other young guy that they playing over him. I forget his name. The one that nobody had heard of until this year. Yeah, Burleson. Is he really that much better than Walker? And the Cardinals have always prioritized defense, so. Oh, of course not. You got Jack Flaherty. I mean, you know, there was a time when he was like at the top of his game, where I literally thought he could be this generation's Mike Messina. Oh, I made another trade in my fantasy league the other day. I sold high on Pablo Lopez. I traded Pablo Lopez and Fairbanks because even though Tampa keeps winning, they keep winning in such a way that they don't need their closer. I traded Fairbanks and Lopez for Manoah and Bednar. Because I figured even if Pittsburgh, comes back down to earth, when they do win games, it's going to be close, so they're going to need their closer. Yeah, but that's smart for the Pirates because it's a long-term contract that shows faith to the fans, but it's also a contract, say 4 years from now, Pittsburgh wants to get out from underneath of it. Any team could take that on. From I don't know what trade protection necessarily means. I'm assuming it's a limited no trade, and they just called it. Maybe I don't know, but I mean, he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that if the team comes to him in a few years and say, "Hey, look, we're still not winning. We want to do right by you, give you a chance to win a championship." You know what I mean? he doesn't strike me as the kind of guy that's going to hold the team hostage.
And down on strikes he goes.
I am streaming, by the way. Yes. That's one of the reasons I didn't. That's one of the reasons I didn't want to go too much into what I was. Okay. They keep us very isolated, but I'll do my best. As last I heard, the plan is hard brand split. Like Triple H said, Roman's going to take it just like the original brand split when Brock took his belt and went to SmackDown. Roman's taking his belt to wherever he goes, which, in my opinion, it's obvious it's going to be SmackDown. They're not, Fox is not going to, well, we'll see. I don't know who, they don't even, as of right now, we don't even know who we're losing from NXT. I have beliefs too, but my understanding is that yes, we sent them swimming with the fishes, which is kind of hokey, but I see, and this is going off. I'm going off on a little bit of a tangent before I fully answer your question. I have a friend of mine that really does not like Tony D'Angelo and the whole, mafia mob gimmick. Because he said it's too hokey, it's too, 90s WWE. But I don't mind a little bit of 90s WWE. I don't mind a little bit of hokey as long as they can perform in the ring, and they can perform in the ring. That being said, getting back to your question, there is significant talk about brand-specific PLEs. I don't think that is confirmed. Me personally, I'll say this: as long as it stays on Peacock and you can get the shows for one price, no problem with it. If Endeavor takes it to ESPN and does a UFC model, and you're paying separately for each show, I don't know anybody that's going to want to pay specifically for a Raw branded PLE, specifically for I think the wrestling fan, and take what you know about what I do job wise. Me as a wrestling fan, I think any type of, after over 10 years of not having to pay for a pay-per-view, any change to that, you're gonna get significant pushback. One of the reasons that I don't dabble in the other playground, as I say, aside from the obvious, is I can't sit there and watch a weekly show, but then when the big events come around, not watch the big event. And I refuse, just because WWE has spoiled me at this point with the network. And it's different in the two different variations we have it now. I can't bring myself to spend $40 to $50 for one show. I did it once when they did that whole match in the Jacksonville football stadium, because I was fascinated to see what that looked like, and I was I think I was still with at the time. We watched it together. I don't remember if we were together or we were just friends, so forgive me there. I was fascinated. Like, I was fascinated by the concept. I wanted to see it, and I have to admit that match was entertaining as hell. Was that match worth the money I paid for the show? No, but there was one thing in that match that was hilarious. Did you ever see it? Yes. So the thing, and we're both gonna laugh about this. Seeing Urban Meyer sitting in his office working, and the wrestlers barge into his office and are wrestling while he's sitting there working, was worth the price of the show. That was, pardon my French, fucking hilarious. Like, oh, that's the definition. Welcome to creative. That's. Oh. Do you, without going into too much detail, do you realize how much stuff gets, during a creative meeting, gets thrown onto a wall, just talked about, but then completely dismissed? So, elephant in the room. What do you think of them? What do you think of them taking essentially a version of the big gold belt, throwing a big giant W on it, and saying, "Here's our new title"? So here's my thing with the people that just want the big gold belt. I understand. Number one, I love the big gold belt. Let me preface it with this. The fact is that W is not going anywhere for marketing purposes. As long as you're giving championship titles to sports teams that win championships, yeah. I think the belt itself is too small. I forget what 2K game it was where everybody complained about how the titles were too small. That's what it reminds me of. Speaking of 2K, I've got over 50 episodes of Universe Mode out, but it's kind of discouraging because I feel like nobody watches them.
Struck him out. So he's gotten deep into this game, and at least so far, not showing a ton of signs of fatigue. Keegan Aiken taking over on the mound.
I can't imagine.
Oh, I love the game this year.
A small lead on the scoreboard, and you know those hitters are going to give you the best at bats they can. So it's always high stress. Let's see what he's got here to try and close it out.
Pasquantino, the next to hit.
I love the story elements of Universe Mode.
Is in for a strike. Left-hand batter waits. Here comes the pitch. There goes the runner from first. Throw to second and great jump.
Nights like this, when it seems harder to score, I like the call to put him in motion and try to steal the base. Ball's not carrying, no home runs so far.
And this ball gets down. It's a hit. Runner from second crosses the plate, and now they trail by one.
Ball does a great job of letting that runner steal second base, get in the scoring position, come through with the base knock, had a run.
Stepping in, Salvador Perez.
Congrats.
And now the lefty.
Congratulations.
And a strike.
Really going after him here. All fastballs to get ahead in the count.
Pasquantino over at first with one away. Next pitch misses inside, and it's 2-2. Swing and a miss, and he is down on strikes for the third straight at bat. Next up for the Royals, Edward Olivares. Out front and foul to the left side. Next offering is fouled back. Fights that one away, and the count remains 0-2. Misses the mark outside the zone. Check swing. Now to look down to first. No swing. Rutschman makes the grab, and that's the inning. Well, they pick up one run on the RBI single.
Speaking of Hollywood, what do you think of the rumors of Cody going to Hollywood?
Welcome back. We're in the seventh. We have a new pitcher on the mound, Josh Stamont.
And he's been hit many times this year, so he's looking for better. Right now, giving up more than a hit per inning.
Hayes leading things off and takes a strike. And now it's even up.
He never moved because he never had time to. Velocity, you prefer that pitcher work away.
The 1-1 just missed. In the air, right field. Under it. Puts it away for the out. Adam Frazier, the next to hit for the Orioles. 1 for 2.
Yeah.
There's a strike.
Sasha Banks. I'm sorry, Miss Monet.
Strike.
Oh God, I don't know why I can't stand that name. I mean, I know.
Up the middle. Witt over to first. 2 up, 2 down. Jorge Mateo now at the plate. And he swings and misses, and it's
My thing. Okay. Here's the thing. Like, we all have things about our jobs that we don't like. We all do. No job. I don't care whether you're bagging groceries, pumping gas, stocking shelves, or working for WWE, working for MLB. We all have things we don't like about a job. Like, the bottom line is, how do you expect, and trust me, as somebody who's been there, I'm not creative is not great all the time. Okay? But you can't walk out because of creative and then expect the company to have faith in you going forward. Like, oh, if she doesn't like creative, she's just going to walk out again.
Definitely got the hitter conscious of the pitch inside. Really think the outer half is open.
She signed with Impact.
Mateo sends it to first. And the leadoff hitter set down to open the seventh. And so the Kansas City begin that spot. Pitch misses, and that's ball one.
Yeah.
On the ground. In plenty of time at first. And put deep to away. So up next, Drew Waters.
That, I'll say this. He hasn't been listed on any internal rosters, but I was under the impression he was still under. I had not heard that he had been released or had his contract expired. That, okay, I'm not even, with all due respect, I'm not even talking about that individual because I think he is one of the worst. No, that is not a nephew to Tony Khan. That is Phil Brooks, putting the spotlight on Phil Brooks and actually helping AEW, because I guarantee you, if he actually does return to AEW, that whole experience from that day is going to be in his promo, and it's going to be sensationalized. Oh, I tried to go and talk to my friend. It's all about, because the one thing CM Punk is now and always has been all about CM Punk. He doesn't care. He doesn't care about anybody else. The only person Phil Brooks cares about, I'll give him this. There's only one person in this world Phil Brooks cares about more than himself. And that's April. I will give him that. Outside of that, that is one of the most selfish, self-absorbed individuals in the wrestling business. Well, it would be like, okay, Card and Charm don't get along anymore, so we have to create a whole new fantasy league, and all that. And when I heard, because I don't pay much attention to the other sandbox. By the way, the other sandbox is, you know who. I don't even like saying their name. So when I heard that, we always have. The reason we maintain our friendship is I don't talk very much wrestling with him, because he thinks I'm nothing but a WWE mark that defends him, and basically I pretty much think the opposite of him. He, like this whole, and I'm not going to get into this too much on stream because I'm streaming, but this whole new lawsuit with Vince McMahon and WWE about the writer claiming racism. Here's the thing. He sends me the article like I don't read the internet, and says it's obvious Vince has got to go. Okay, that very well may be true, maybe, but there are two sides to every story. Just because somebody gets sued doesn't mean what they're being sued for is factually, you know.
Next pitch misses, and the count is 3-1. Late on that fastball.
Wow. Good luck catching up to that one.
I mean, look. I love Matt to death. I know him personally. Him and I work together. Like, he's a good friend. I maintain that friendship because I purposely don't talk wrestling with him all that much. Because I can't. Because I'm not going to be told that I'm fanboying, I don't know. But
Next one misses. A ball, one strike.
Well, that's really the money spot, down and away. If you can locate that consistently, it's going to be real tough for guys to square that. That's what you'd love to see relievers do coming out of that bullpen.
I mean,
Here's the 2-2. Sets him down looking. Fastball at the letters, frozen for strike 3.
Pretty big strikeout right there to start this 8th inning. Down one. Any of the really makes this game a bit more interesting.
I mean,
Now this offense has to switch.
like, I'm trying to think, because like I said, okay, has there been racially charged storylines in WWE? Yes, there has. For years. You can point to the whole Booker T Triple H thing. When Triple H literally said, people like you are not meant to be champion. That was wrong. That did not age well. Hell, one of the things I helped to get on TV back in the day, I go back and watch it, and it's like, now, it's like, oh my God, that does not age. That script doesn't. Yeah. Trish barking like a dog. I mean. But here. But here's the thing, like you said, there's a lot of things that, don't age well. Like at the turn of the 19th century, or the late 1800s and the turn of the 19th century, a 15, 16-year-old girl was married and was already having kids. Now, that would be considered and was married to somebody that was 10, 15 years older than her. That was socially acceptable at the time. So you can't criticize it for the time. You can look at it now and say, what the hell were we thinking? Because, society's evolved, society's changed. But the fact is, that was the socially acceptable norm then. Like, you don't think 200 years from now, 100 years from now, people are going to look at what we're doing? They played video games with their hands? Like, you know what I mean? But that's my point. Like, I struggle with this, with any aspect of whitewashing the past, Because yes, there are a lot of things, whether it's social, economical, you know, I have a hard time with whitewashing the past. You don't whitewash it, you teach it, you learn from it. Like, and you accept that yes, while things in that past were obviously wrong, they were socially acceptable at the time. You know what I mean? It's like, again, I'm not saying they were right, but they were. look at look at look at all the great comedians of the last 30 years. I was talking about this last night on my stream. A guy like George Carlin, freaking hilarious. A little too much colorful language for my taste, but I love listening to his stand up. I mean, he's dead now, but I have to go on YouTube to watch it, but his stand up and many other comedians, Richard Pryor, I mean Bill Cosby for obvious reasons, but their kind of comedy would not be in a lot of ways socially acceptable today. Not to mention, I mean, let's face it, we all, myself, you, everybody is a little more socially sensitive today. For example, I go back to that question I asked you that caused a little bit of a strain between us because I meant it a completely different way than you took it. When I asked you if you had any single female friends, I wasn't. I was asking because I wanted to know if you could introduce me to somebody, not if you did. You know what I mean? It was, remember the miscommunication you and I had that we thought, but it was just a miscommunication because like because there is a little bit of an age gap between. How old are you? Oh, there's only 3 years. Maybe it's a regional thing then, because like that question I asked you, you don't know how old you are. Okay, but still, okay, you're closer in age than I thought. Maybe it's a regional thing. Like the way when I asked you that question back then, I was like, that was the way a buddy asked a buddy, "Hey, do you have anybody you can introduce me to?" Or like, so for me, that was a perfectly natural question to ask. I didn't explain it in good enough context to you, and you didn't understand what I meant, and and I still to this day apologize about that. I certainly didn't mean anything by it, but that's the thing. Like we quote unquote have freedom of speech in this country, but we don't, because nobody can say anything without, I don't know. Oh yeah, I have worked. I have worked in. I'll give you for example. I've worked in call center jobs in my life where the customer will ask you the same question 4 different ways, and you know what they're really looking for? They want you to say something different than the way you said it the first time. So they can almost. It's almost like they want to trap you and say, "Wait a minute, you just said something completely opposite a second ago." It's it's funny in that way. It's like people are petty. Like I remember, and I got in trouble for this one time. I'm working my call center job, and customers clearly asked me the same question 5 different times. I stopped. I said, "Sir, you can ask me the same question 10 other different ways. I'm going to give you the same answer.
Major League Baseball on tap. It's the Baltimore Orioles
So let's save each other some time here."
I'm John Shelby. So the Baltimore Orioles have taken the first 2 games of this series, and today they'll go for the sweep. They play ready to go, and into the box for Baltimore, Cedric Mullins. The winding pitch. That just misses, and that's how this game gets started. This one ripped, but foul to the right. The 1-1. Got the
Okay.
bat going too soon. It's strike 2.
And he really sells the changeup with that arm action.
The wind of the pitch. In the dirt. Catcher has it. Fires to first. Gets him. One away on a drop third strike. Here's Adley Rutschman. 3 for 8 in the series coming in. And that one hammered. And it's off the wall, but foul. Greinke, multi-time All-Star. He features a 4-seam fastball, a changeup, a curve, a slider, and occasionally uses a cutter. And there's a hit. So a man aboard now with 1 away.
Everything came together for him. You'll often hear the phrase short to it, long through it, and that's a great example of it right there. Got the barrel in the hitting zone early, squared it up with the well-timed swing, and came away with a beautiful line drive into center field.
Swing and a miss. And it's 1-1. Chopped left side. The throw to first. He's out. Time now to take a look at the Orioles lineup put together by manager Brandon Hyde. Someone who makes things happen for them in part with his legs, Gunnar Henderson.
And he's leading them in runs batted in this season, which tells me this guy is able to slow things down when it seems like there's a little bit of pressure, and he's looking at it as an opportunity to do damage. You know, a lot of guys, they see runners on base, and they get big. They feel like all this pressure, I've got to get these runs in, but somehow he seems to settle into these situations. So watch out when he comes into play.
Swing and a miss, struck him out. He swung over top of the... Start for Baltimore, Kyle Gibson.
He's had his ups and downs in his career as his ERA is just over 4, but this is a guy that's not afraid. He's going to take the ball, he's going to go out there and give it his best.
Bottom of the first. Here's the shortstop at the plate, Bobby Witt Jr. Drops it down the third baseline. On the run, sends it over to first, and Witt is out. And here now, the lineup for the Royals. And we check out the guy in the 7th spot, Hunter Dozier.
Well, he's an important part of this lineup for sure. I mean, there's no doubt about it, Boog. somebody that they try to feed off of. He does a lot of things, very well up there at the plate. He's got a presence about him, and he's a guy that you really kind of like to watch swing the bat.
Number 11, the next to hit, takes ball 1. One down, base is empty. That one fouled off. The wind of the pitch. That one missed. Ground ball up the middle. Slings to first. Yeah, they get the out.
That's what a good sinker is designed to do. Get the ball over a little bit, hit the ball on the ground, kill some worms while you're out.
2 outs.
Nice play. Nice stretch by Mountcastle.
And delivers outside. They say you win. Out to short. That is the inning. Royals bats are quiet there. We played an inning. Back here at Kauffman Stadium, digging in, Gunnar Henderson. Greinke back to work. And a big swing and a miss. Zach Greinke, a guy that even while he's been playing, he likes scouting amateur talent in person and watching guys on video. Well, in the 2012 year when he was with Milwaukee, he went into their draft room and there was video on the screen of a certain player, and he pointed at the screen Greinke did and said, that's the guy you should take with your first pick. He's the best player in the draft. And it turned out to be his future teammate, Corey Seager. Cuts and misses. It's a strikeout.
Very frustrating right there as a speedy potential base runner when with 2 strikes you just struggle to put the ball in play. You don't even have to get a hit at that point. You can help your team just by reaching on an error, but somewhere you can find a way to shorten up the swing and put the ball in play next time.
Next pitch,
Come on.
1-1. And a swing and a miss.
Clearly was sitting on a fastball right there and just ended up out in front of the slider. Hey, you can't fault him for his commitment. Now he's just going to have to battle with 2 strikes.
Now this is in the air down the line. Got it. Really had to move for that catch. And there's 2 down. Now it's going to be Taron Vavra. They say you win. No score here in the second. Popped up. Back here in Kansas City, and now the DH, Franmil Reyes. The pitch. Gibson, a former All-Star.
I'll tell you what, facing Zach Greinke feels weird. He pitches so slow.
A 4-seamer, and he works in a changeup. The next offering misses. Dow 2-0. The pitch. Swing and a miss.
Well, as a hitter, you're hoping that the command on that sinker doesn't come until later in the ball game. But if that's how it's going to be all day, it's going to be a tough one for the offense.
This one high in the air to left center. Mullins settles under it. And there's one away. Edward Olivares steps in for the Royals. He swings and misses at the first pitch. 0-1. Takes the liner back to the mound. Sends it to first. Already 2 out here in the home half of inning number 2. Drew Waters stands in here. Tried to hold back his swing there, but went around. Next offering is in for a strike. Swings through it, and that's a strikeout. KC down in order. We'll move to the 3rd with no score. All set for the start of the inning. Jorge Mateo now. Greinke back to work. Swinging a foul straight back. Mateo playing up the middle at short in the 8th spot in today's lineup, and he was born in the Dominican Republic. Strike 2.
Where do you even begin with the talent we've seen from the Dominican Republic? Vladi, Big Papi, Pedro, the list goes on and on.
Next one is off the plate.
Come on, D.
And the righty deals. Fouls it off, still 1-2. The wide to kick the pitch. Fights that one away, still 1-2. Struck him out swinging. Had him out front for strike 3. Here's Adam Frazier. 2 for 8 in the series so far. Swing and a slow roller. Pasquantino takes it to the bag. First 2 batters retired here in the top of the 3rd. So the batting order turns over.
Good Lord.
Next one in the dirt. Left-hand hitter waits. And that will end the inning. And welcome back. Stepping in the long ball threat, Hunter Dozier. And the right-hander back to work.
I wouldn't really call him a long ball threat.
Foul ground first base side. And he dropped it. The middle. Whips it to Mountcastle. Leadoff hitter gone in the 3rd. And the batter now, MJ Melendez. Good defender. He's been inconsistent offensively. That's in for a strike. Melendez goes 6'1", 24 years old, and he was a 2nd-round pick back in 2017. And there's a ball.
Let's go, let's go.
Tap dances out of the way of that one.
Yeah.
Next pitch is outside.
Yeah.
And it's a full
We gotta
ball.
pretend to like our family. No, just kidding. I'm kidding.
Out to short, Mateo. Fires over to first. And 2 straight down.
Oh, I know.
We talk about how the ball is coming out of the pitcher's hand. The way it comes out of his hand as an infielder.
And swing fouled off.
Yep. And if I'm not right, we're gonna fight.
Here's a swing and a drive left field, and he knew it.
A good hitter gets pitch recognition early. He saw exactly where that was going to be. The challenge, not get over anxious and come out of your swing. He stayed on it.
Oh, it's something, all right.
Takes low, 2nd trip to the plate in this one.
seems that way. You know, guys, they can come out, feel good, but then all of a sudden get touched up a little bit, and they start trying to throw instead of pitch. They're not trusting.
In for a strike. 3 balls. Well, he's been good for the most part. Is it going to take someone going out to the mound to maybe refocus him a bit?
Every pitcher's a little different. I like it too. Sometimes you come in and you're not as focused, and I kind of do what it takes to get you trying to get you in good shape. So perhaps it's the same with him. Nobody really wants their rhythm broken up, but sometimes they
See, I thought about doing dynamic for hitting because I'm struggling on Hall of Fame, but it won't let me pick a starting point for dynamic, and I refuse to play a exhibition game to calibrate it. Like I ain't got time to sit there and calibrate dynamic hitting. Let me pick a starting point, but it won't let me do it. And I'm not starting at beginner and trying to work my way up to, I don't know. But it's hard from a fantasy standpoint when you're one of the guys you were really relying on for offense seemingly has forgotten how to play baseball. At least offensively.
seeing some good swings from him right now with consecutive extra base hits. That pretty much split the zone down the middle, and those are the ones where you've got to make them pay.
And it's off the bag. The tag, and that's out number 3. Jump ahead. Back here at the ballpark, John Shambi with Chris Singleton, and set to lead off the 4th, Adley Rutschman. First offering misses the mark.
You know, these Orioles definitely being aggressive at the plate, but I think it's fair to wonder if they're being a little over-aggressive. I'm specifically talking.
Oh, this one high and deep, way back there. Gone.
Adley with a homer.
He made him pay for that one, and they're chipping away. It's 2-1.
Velocity, a changeup is really a break for a hitter. He got a BP fastball, didn't move a whole lot, and he absolutely tattooed it.
Here's Ryan Mountcastle.
Wave it bye-bye.
Rolled it out in his first at bat. Bounce to third. That's the first out in the top of the 4th.
Did you go somewhere again? Oh, I didn't even hear you say hold on. I'm like, I guess he went somewhere again. Oh, I didn't hear you say be right back. I mean, I figured out that you stepped away. I just was like, oh, okay. Oh, I know. Now, right now, like, I have nobody in my, like, there's nobody in my stream. There's nobody, but I also recognize it's 8 o'clock in the morning, and I don't usually stream at this time, so I'm not. I wanted to get a couple games in before I had to get ready for work.
Got him looking. Frozen with a backdoor slider. The Orioles get one back on the solo base. This is now a 2. Bottom of the 4th. Now it's the DH, Franmil Reyes. The right-hander back to work. There's a strike.
Well, these Royals doing a great job, Boog, of just waiting for the right pitch to come their way. I'm seeing very patient at bats on them. They're doing a good job of working the pitch count.
Yeah.
Able to push a couple of runs across the score as well.
Yeah, with my schedule, I can't set a schedule. Like, I can't say I will definitely be on this time. Like,
Still relatively early, but with the pair of runs already on the board, the ripple effect of that high pitch count is something that gets people in this game.
Anderson over to first in time. Already 2 gone here in the home fourth.
Good sinker low in the zone right there and produced exactly what he was looking for. Ball on the ground, nice play.
but like I always tell you, this chat is always open. So I'll pop in whenever you, even if you see other like Amish or anybody else, pop in and say hey.
Next offering is downstairs. In the air, right
Yeah.
field.
Sometimes you got to take a break from streaming too, because it's like when you get to a point where when you're playing a game, you feel like, oh, I'm playing a game, I have to stream. That's when it's time to take a break, because it's like.
And a pitch. And a good eye there. In the air, left field. He's under it. And next is the designated hitter, Terran Vavra. Flied out his first time. And there's the strike.
Not what he's looking for there in the 0-0 count. Looks like he wants the ball down in the zone.
Oh, because literally, the bigger ones, and mind you, I want to preface this just in case any of the big streamers see this video. I don't. Obviously, I'm speculating based off what I've heard and even heard some of them say, because they're literally all they do is play the game. They've gotten big enough that they're paying somebody to do their editing for them. Like so the work part of the quote unquote job, they're not even doing the work anymore. Like, they're doing the fun part.
That misses the zone. Counts full. In the dirt. On to first. Out. 2 away now after the drop third strike. So digging in.
I have paid people to do my thumbnails.
That one is absolutely belted. Bangs off the wall. Take a second easily. 2-out double. A swing like that can't help you.
Do you know why I switched from Twitch to YouTube?
At this point is help his team win. And now it's going to be Adam Frazier. First pitch doesn't
I'm streaming my YouTube. I'm streaming on YouTube through PS5.
To push things with his speed. Base hits probably going to be a big one, so you really
The reason why I switched was simply archiving, because Twitch gets rid of a video after 7 days.
for the Orioles. They're down 2-1. We head to the bottom of the fifth. Leading off, Hunter Dozier. Back now to start the bottom of the fifth.
But okay, even if it's a month, I don't want you to get rid of I don't want you to get rid of the videos unless I delete it, or unless you tell me I've reached some kind of storage capacity, not just because you arbitrarily. Yeah. So it's like once I realized they were doing that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna. And honestly, thanks to 90% of my growth over the last 2 months, 3 months on YouTube it's been YouTube Shorts. It's been telling jokes on YouTube Shorts.
Here's the catcher, MJ Melendez.
Yeah, because
On the corner for a strike. That's strike 1.
people have a shorter attention span, and they have less to.
He's got to be ready for that first pitch heater.
And fouled off.
So, back to the point about people being too sensitive, though. One of my, a streamer that I was in his streams almost every day, right? Streamed MLB The Show content every day, and I was in his stream every day. I got blocked from his stream simply because I stated a historical fact. From a statistical historical fact, I said the Philadelphia Phillies are the worst team in baseball history. Because if you look at the stats, they have the most losses in Major League history. No, that's me. I'm Sean. No, his YouTube channel is Big Tom K 22. But he blocked me because he said, I'm trying to have a positive stream and you're picking on Phillies. But it's like, I'm not picking. What I'm stating is a statement of fact. They have the most losses, and I'm not literally saying they're the worst team in baseball, but they, statistically speaking, are the worst team in baseball history. That is, that's like somebody blocking me for saying George Washington was the first president of the United States. Look. How dare you say George Washington was the first president? Reminded me of a joke I heard the other day. Way back in the day, a woman was listening to a speech by President Lincoln. After the speech, the woman walked up to the president and said, "Sir, after that speech, if I was your wife, I would poison your dinner." President Lincoln looked at the woman and said, "Madam, if you were my wife, I would gladly eat the poison." I mean, what? One of my coworkers one time, about a year and a half ago, was literally sent to sensitivity training for a week because he got reported for saying that's what she said. Because somebody that wasn't even involved in his conversation overheard it and found it offensive. Mm-hmm. That's our society nowadays.
There's the strike. Here comes a pitch.
Married with Children would be the show would be victim of cancel culture.
Steps in for the Royals.
Oh yeah.
Measures 6 feet 4 inches, 25 years old.
Here's an interesting question. You and I, because there's apparently, I guess there's only 5 years difference between us. Because I did just turn 41 on Sunday. We grew. Thank you. We grew up in what I like to call the American Pie generation. Right? Would the American Pie movies even get made today? Would a movie about a bunch of teenage guys trying to get laid even get made today? Yeah, I suppose.
And that one is lifted in the air. Waters puts it away for the out. And there's one down.
Well, on the mound, very efficient, able to produce an outcome. It seems like within the 34th pitch of just about every at bat.
Henderson.
Oh yeah, I mean, you see that all the time in jobs. You have that you know, when you hire a training class or when you hire a new class of employees, you have to have X amount of this, that, and the other to not. How about you just hire the best qualified people, regardless of who cares if the entire class is women? Who cares if the entire class is black, white, purple, green?
Foul ball still 1-2 count. Left-hand batter waits. And that's in the dirt. That one lifted to left. And that is a foul ball. Bounced up the middle. Dives and he can't hang on.
Showing a lot of fight with 2 strikes in that AB.
New arm out of the bullpen, Josh Taylor.
I can't imagine any save is an easy one. You're holding a small lead on the scoreboard, and you know those hitters are going to give you the best at-bats they
Can't glove it cleanly. Slings to second, over to first, safe.
Well, there's a lot riding on that at-bat right there. Nice job of the pitcher to bear down.
I hope you and I are still chatting when I'm in the 7th inning. There's somehow there's a. I want to tell you something that I find. At the time, I found it extremely offensive, and I still find it a little bit offensive, but I kind of laugh at it now in the context when I think about it. But I don't want to say it on stream because I don't want to. My end of it is, when I enter party chat, if I'm streaming, it does say, "Do you want the party chat's audio to come through?" And I always say no, which kind of sucks for me because people always think I'm talking to myself. But most of the people that watch my stream know enough now that, oh, he's talking to somebody. If you notice, if you ever look at the members of this, the amount of people I've added to this chat has grown quite a bit especially in the last week. So, I gotta ask Matt. I don't even know who that guy Matt added is. I've never even seen that name. Like, I don't mind other people adding people to this chat, but then it was like I wanted to say something to him. Like, Matt never comes in here. I ask him all the time, why don't you come in voice chat with, like, I know you have watch parties, so you can't, but like me, Frog, and Amish, and even Amos have sat in here and watched WWE pay-per-views. Like, I would, obviously, if you didn't have your own thing going on pay-per-view nights, I would love for you to join us. But, like, I can't tell you how many times I have said to Matt, like, because, and he's a good friend. He asks me all the time. He texts me almost every day, asks me how I'm doing, like, and if I tell him things are going bad, he always, but, like, I'd rather talk about it. I don't want to text. Like, I get that if you can't sit on the phone, but you're on PlayStation, come in the voice chat. Let me actually talk. Like, you know what I mean? It's just weird for a guy who never comes in here to chat to add somebody to it. Like, No, well, I don't.
Just missed.
I mean, everybody that's in this chat is somebody that I have interacted with. I mean, like I said, like if you wanted to add somebody, I wouldn't care. Just at least tell me who the heck it is. So if they pop in here and just start talking, it's like, oh, who are you?
Man is out in the eighth. A roll decision.
Slider, it's just filthy, man. And one of the better ones in the game, I'd say. Spin rate's very high, and it just breaks a ton.
Frazier swings through it for strike one.
Well, a come and get me fastball right there. He didn't look ready for the velocity.
The person he had, the name starts with a Z. It's Zoom. Yeah, I have no idea who that is. None.
Now one-run game. And now 2 balls and a strike.
I mean, unless that's his new name, I doubt it. But unless he created a second account.
And another ball.
At this point in the game, you cannot issue free passes. He's going to have to challenge this hitter. Hitter's got to be ready to swing it.
And he deals. Top of the zone for a called strike.
And a lot of those, like the gaming with Brian, those are people I've met through Amos's streams.
Back to the top of the lineup.
You know, that have started an app, and Gabe. I've met all them through Amos's streams, and you know they've been coming into my streams and whatnot. And Gabe is another Orioles fan, so it's nice to have somebody to talk Orioles with.
As he swings through it. The pitch. Ball one there.
Rarely will you see a pitcher just to waste a pitch like that. The batter wasn't even tipped to the side. Every pitch needs to have a purpose so that it
Yeah, he's gonna probably be my keeper. The league, because the league I play in, we can keep one hitter, one pitcher. Yeah.
Line drive caught. Now a catcher up to Adley Rutschman. He's already homered in this game. Next pitch downstairs, and it's 1-0.
typically the outfield defense will play a little bit deeper just to keep the ball in front, make sure that runner on first doesn't come all the way around.
Well, Friday's part one. See, to me, I hate the way they do the draft I understand why for ratings, but I would rather see them do a network special and do an actual draft. Yeah, it was after the show. They did picks that weren't on the show. No, I don't remember that then. I remember picks after. I remember picks being broadcast on the network after the draft, but I don't remember breaking down draft picks during. I'm not saying you're wrong. I just don't remember that.
Slider got him for strike 3. Nate Eaton steps in for the Royals. Eaton not having as much success with the bat here at home as you see the splits.
And I don't think I'm going to sweep this series, it appears.
Next one misses. 2 balls, no strikes, the count. That one drifts inside, so definitely a little wild right out of the gate.
I'm so happy for him having a good year back in. And the love that fan base showed him on his first at bat, that was great.
Coming home. They'll score easily, and they lead by 2.
Didn't take long to get a result Nice line drive to the pull side right there, but he didn't spin off of it. That's the key. You still
Yeah.
need to extend through the baseball in order to hit a line drive like that.
The other way, and that's a base hit. Here comes Witt around third. Throw is offline, and he scores. And they lead by 3. Runner on at first with one gone. And now the first baseman, Vinny Pasquantino. The 1-0. Still only one out here in the inning. The 2-0 is in for a strike. Right through there for a strike.
Who are the rumors you're hearing?
The punch out there.
I haven't heard Nakamura. I heard Seth.
Now it's Franmil Reyes.
If you gave me the book, if I was on Raw or SmackDown, you said you can pick the first champion, I would pick Mr. Dummy, yeah, LA Knight. That guy is gold.
I think closer has to be one of the toughest jobs in baseball, and we see a pretty high turnover rate because of it. Every outing seems to be high pressure. This one, we'll see if he can wrap up the win and get himself a save.
That one down the line.
Yeah, and WrestleMania used to be in Madison Square Garden too. They like bigger arenas now. They, you know.
Swing and a miss, struck him out, and the leadoff man retired here in the 9th. Santander stands in now and watches strike 1.
So, I forget. Are you a Star Wars fan?
That's in there.
I do have to tell you this though, because I thought this was hilarious. It would probably creep me out. So, I was watching something from Star Wars Celebration, and they were interviewing Ian McDermott, who plays the Emperor, right? He said, they asked him, they said, have you ever purposely scared anybody or used the Palpatine voice in real life? And he's like, one time I was in New York, I had nothing to do with Star Wars, I was doing a play, I was in an elevator, and somebody recognized me, and they said, hello, Senator. He's like, as I got out of the elevator, I turned around to him. He's like, that's Supreme, and I can't do the voice, but he's like, that's Supreme Chancellor to you, and just does the wicked laugh. And and he said, they looked so scared. It was hilarious. I love when you hear actors can just have fun with like. Okay, let me stop the stream.